श्रीभगवानुवाच पश्य मे पार्थरूपाणि शतशोऽथसहस्रशः नानाविधानि दिव्यानि नानावर्णाकृतीनि च.
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. Krishna speaks here and says, O Partha, son of Prutha, see my varied divine forms in hundreds and thousands of various colors and shapes. Nana vidhani divyani nana varna krutini cha. Different colors, varnas, different akritis, different shapes. So, what we need to understand is, when we look around us, we see diversity, we see differences, we see differentiation, and we get carried away by these differences. And so to the extent that we see differences, we don't see that one magnificent force that binds everything together. In fact, the differentiation makes us feel insecure, because when you see something that is different from you, it makes you feel insecure. What you're looking for is uniformity, which you'll never see in the world. No two sparrows are alike, no two amoebas are alike, no two human beings are alike. And yet, you want to meet people who are like you, who speak the same language as you, who dress like you, who have the same tastes like you, who feel like you, and who have the same ideas like you. It is only in the Indian culture, throughout the world, wherever you go, you see that. And the dominant force imposes their ideas, imposes their values on the others and say, you have to do what I'm doing. It is only in India that there is immense respect for differentiation. You look at someone who's different from you, the first thing you do is bow down to them. And that is an outstanding feature. Like in the Rig Veda, they say, let knowledge come from all sources. When you have respect for knowledge, when you have the capacity to look beyond the diversity and see the unity, you don't feel threatened by differences. And therefore, right through the ages, from almost time immemorial, people from all over the world have converged to this magical land of spirituality, for wisdom, for knowledge, for different things. And we have always welcomed different people. It's only now that we have somehow lost touch with our culture, and the differences are creeping up. And because of these differences, you're fighting. What we need to understand is there is fighting, and there's anger, there's bitterness, there's hatred all over the world. They are looking for the leadership in India. The spiritual leadership, not political leadership. But it's non-existent, because we ourselves have got disconnected from our own culture. Where is that strength? Remember, India dominated and conquered the whole of the Asian region for centuries, not through arms and ammunition, not by economic bullying, not by political aggrandizing, but by the sheer power and strength of our spirituality. Today it is time for us to get back to our roots, establish ourselves in it, and help the rest of the world overcome it. Because we have put in so much effort in developing science and technology, and what are we using it for? Destructive purposes, only to kill each other. And in the end, we'll kill the whole world. So, where do we begin? With ourselves. With every thought of negativity or competition or hatred or bitterness that emerges in the mind, you have to have the courage to squash it, kill it. And that is why he's saying here, the first thing he's telling Arjuna, mind you, this is the first verse in this chapter that Krishna is speaking. He speaks of this diversity. Nana varnani, akritini. But all these are divyani, divine. This is what helps us to understand the unity. It's a wonderful feeling when you rise above this feeling of separateness. It comes to everyone. That's the nature of the mind. You say, I'm separate from you. And why does it do that? Because in the beginning it gives you that little kick. It gives you that little bit of pleasure in the beginning to say, you're separate from me and I'm superior. It requires a great act of courage to swallow that, to rise above that and say, look at things from the other person's point of view. It doesn't matter if you're different, you're still part of me. In one family, if you're not able to rise above differences, doesn't matter if others don't. You do it, you'll be happy. If others don't do it, they'll be miserable. There's nothing that you can do. But at least each one of us can commit to ourselves that I will rise above it. I will rise above my miserable condition. Because the fact is, you entertain feeling of separateness, you will suffer. You rise above this feeling of separateness. And what a wonderful state you'll be in. This choice each one of us has, not once in a lifetime, every moment of our life, right this moment you have the choice. But we are not exerting it. And therefore we are not enjoying the bliss that comes from seeing the unity in diversity. This is an oft-quoted term. And you say unity in diversity. But to grab it, to use it, to see the difference. What happens when you see separateness? What happens when you see oneness in and through the separateness? Is something that you can only experience. So give yourself that chance to experience it. That's what he's saying here. Next verse.